11th October 2022. Morning Murli. Om Shanti. BapDada. Madhuban. Sweet children, you spiritual Brahmins should have a lot of love for one another. Meet together to discuss and decide how to give everyone the Father's true introduction. Question: on the basis of which faith can you children make your fortune elevated? Answer: first of all, let your intellects have the faith that the one who is teaching you here is God Himself, and that you have to claim your great fortune, means Saubhagya, hundredfold fortune, from Him. Only then would you study with Him every day and be able to make your fortune elevated. The Father's Srimad is, children, you must study every day under all circumstances. If you are unable to come to class, read the Murli at home. Song: you are the ocean of love. We thirst for one drop. Om Shanti. You souls, that is, you children, know that we souls are like points, that we are like stars. However, how can a soul realize the Father of the Self? No one in the world knows either the Self or the Father. You know that you souls are points. You are so tiny. The Father too, it's so tiny. The Supreme Father is no bigger than souls. A body can be large or small. You are now sitting in remembrance of shivbaba. Although someone may know that a soul is a tiny point, the wonder is that he also has part of 84 births recorded in him. Until a soul takes the support of a body, he cannot play a part. In the same way, the Supreme Soul is also as tiny as us souls. But why is he called the Father? Because he is ever pure. Although people don't know God, they call him the Father, just as you remember him with understanding. So they also remember him. All of those many devotees have one God whom they call the purifier. So there are many who are impure, but only one is the purifier. Sages, holy men, and great souls also call out to him. They call him God, the Father. Therefore, he is the Father of all. The Father has to come here to purify the impure. He alone shows you the way to become pure, because souls have accumulated a burden of sin. We simply write, be holy, but there is no benefit in putting up such slogans because people outside are not able to understand them. This has been explained to you. So, why do you need slogans? It means become pure and remember Baba. They won't be able to understand this until you explain it to them. By staying in yoga, you can become pure. People says His Holiness. That is a title of purity. Sannyasis are said to be holy because they don't enlarge in vice. Although they stay pure and remember the Brahma element, they still have to take birth to those who enlarge in vice. You are told to stay pure and to remember shivbaba. Sannyasis call themselves renunciates of action. But action cannot be renounced. Only when a soul doesn't have a body can there be renunciation of action. Souls live in the home, means supreme abode. Without bodies, how can there be renunciation of action here? It is a lie even to say this. They say that they don't perform the same actions as householders. The actions of householders are many: sacrificial fires, tapasya, going on pilgrimages, etc. Even sannyasis do that. The only difference is that householders earn an income and cook food in their homes, whereas sannyasis don't. They beg for food because there is a hut yoga. They cannot meet God by doing hut yoga. Only when the Father comes can anyone meet him, and the pure world cannot be established until he comes. You explain so much, and yet they don't understand. Children write news to Baba. So many people came. Now we shall see who claims their great fortune. So many people come, but it doesn't sit in their intellects that it is the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, who is teaching them, and that they have to claim their great fortune from Him. The Father looks at the register. Some come here for only 8 to 10 days in a whole month, and some don't even come, and so they don't write anything. If someone doesn't come to class, does he or she read the Murli or not? Under all circumstances, you must study every day. They make a small versions of the Jap Sahib Sukhmani, means Sikh scripture, because they believe that they would read it under all circumstances. You understand what they will attain by reading that? Nothing at all. Perhaps for a little while their intellects would be fine, but no one can meet the Father by doing that. They then also become trapped in the vices, and so there is no attainment through that. It is said that there are those who have divorced intellects at the time of destruction. It truly is the time of destruction now, and no one knows God. They even say that they don't know the Creator or the knowledge of the beginning, the middle, or the end of creation. However, you have to know the beginning, the middle, and the end of the drama. The Father explains that the golden age is the beginning and that the iron age is the end. Therefore, you have to understand the three aspects of time and the three worlds. The three worlds are the corporeal world, the subtle region, and the incorporeal world. They say that the scriptures are eternal, but the Father explains the scriptures begin when Raman's kingdom begins. Therefore, the copper age is in the middle. For half a cycle, it is the golden age, and for half a cycle, it is the iron age. There is the account of half and half. Those people cannot know the middle because they have said that the duration of each cycle is hundreds of thousands of years. You should tell them to know the Father and become Brahma Kumaris and Kumaris, and they will then receive the inheritance. When people come here, first ask them what they have come to. They would say that they have come to the BKs. Tell them, just think about it, since there are so many Brahma Kumars and Kumaris. Brahma, their father, would also be here. There are so many centaurs and so many Brahma Kumars and Kumaris. How can one father have so many children? It is written that he is Prajapita, and so there are so many Brahma Kumars and Kumaris. You should explain to them in this way and make them alert. Okay, just think about it. Whose child is Prajapita Brahma? To create so many children is the task of the Supreme Soul. Therefore, he would surely come here. It is remembered you are the mother and father. Therefore, Brahma is the mother. So the Supreme Soul creates everyone through Brahma. He converts everyone. He adopts you to give you the inheritance. How does He purify you? By your having remembrance. He says, forget all religions and constantly remember me alone. Everyone calls out to me, and the knowledgeful one, the blissful one, the liberator, and the guide. Therefore, I take everyone to the land of happiness. Where is their happiness? In the land of happiness? The Father is now taking you to the land of peace, and you will then go to the land of happiness. How can you remember those things? If you continue to speak of those things every day and also explain them to others, the points will continue to enter your intellects. When you explain to someone, you should make that person write it down. You should make them write down the address of the Supreme Soul, who is the Father of all souls, that the Father is Shiv, and that we will claim our inheritance from Him. You should make effort. However, who makes this effort? This is why you children have to become alert yourselves and make others alert, and also make plans for service. Great commanders of the military get together for discussions. Therefore, you children here should also get together. However, what can Baba do if you don't get together? In fact, you Brahmins should have a lot of love for one another. You should discuss and decide how to explain to someone. Look, there are so many temples to Lakshmi and Narayan. You should meet those who built those temples. You have built those temples, but do you know how they claimed their kingdom and how they lost their kingdom? The picture of Shri Krishna is very good. The story of 84 birds and how it continues is very good. You should make this picture in a larger size. Baba says, when someone comes, ask him tactfully, have you studied the Gita? So tell me, who is the God of the Gita? You should explain tactfully in this way. It is said, you are the mother and father. So this Brahma is the mother, and you should have a relationship with him. If you don't have love for him, everything is finished. How would you claim your inheritance from the Father? Your war is with the old enemy. No one even knows that there can be a war with Ravan. They say that the boat of truth will rock but will not sink. Therefore, it rocks so much. In other spiritual gatherings, there is no question of a boat rocking. Here, your war is with Maya. Until they understand the Father, they won't even become parrots who repeat everything, even though they may put it in writing. They are instead like wild parrots that come and go. You have to understand Alpha. There are many subjects, but no one comes forward for the kingdom. It is very difficult for them to send themselves to the flame, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost, and now found children. Love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, BapDada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children. The spiritual children says Namaste and good morning to the spiritual father. A night class. You children have received the Father's directions. Children, remember the Father. Children say, Baba, we don't have time. Where does your time go? Surely, Maya must be taking up your time. Maya is also very powerful because she doesn't give you time to remember the Father, and that is why you say that you remember Baba for half an hour or 20 minutes throughout the whole day. It is with great difficulty that anyone remembers the Father for even 2 hours throughout the whole day. Those of you who think that you remember Baba for 2 hours, raise your hands. That physical remembrance of the past has continued. That one is the incorporeal. He doesn't have his own eyes or ears. He tells you children to remember him alone constantly and to consider yourselves to be souls. Baba asks you, for how many hours do you stay in remembrance? When children go and play, they remember their teacher. Even when they study at home, they remember their teacher. That is remembrance of the physical. This is a little difficult. This is why Baba asks those who are able to consider themselves to be souls and are able to remember the Father for 2 hours, raise your hands. Don't be ashamed, but tell Baba accurately. You are sitting here and Baba is speaking a Murli, and yet your intellects wander in other directions. Do they not? Not much is embedded by your intellects. For instance, when Baba explains to you for an hour in the morning, then for that 1 hour, do your intellects remember the Father, or do they wander outside? Truly, number-wise, according to the efforts you make, your intellect definitely wander outside, somewhere or other. You don't listen to everything. If you listen to everything and continue to note it down, Baba would say that your yoga is good. Therefore, when listening to Baba, you have to pay attention and write down the points fully. If the link is broken, you forget the points. The Father explains children that through heart failure is a very sweet death. There is no spinning of mine or yours in that. While sitting somewhere, you collapse. You become unconscious and everything is over. That's all. You don't regain consciousness at all. That is a very good death. Other people would cry, but you would be happy, thinking, wonderful. This one died very easily. He didn't experience any pain at all. When one dies, it should be in this way. Otherwise, there is a lot of medicine, nurses, and many other things involved. This is why to renounce one's old shoe while just sitting somewhere in the karmatit stage and to leave one's body just like that is the best of all. As you progress further, you will see how bombs will be dropped suddenly for no reason and everyone will go back while just sitting somewhere. Your faces will even be cheerful. When someone dies in a good way, observers would say that it seems as though that person is still awake. He is cheerful. No one looking at him would be able to see that he is dead. The soul goes back cheerful. When a soul is cheerful, it would be seen on his face. Would it not? Souls do not die. Souls just leave their bodies. So the soul would leave this body in great happiness while smiling. This is called the karmatit stage. This is the stage that is remembered as the highest. You children too have to depart in that way. There is no concern for the body. Nothing else is remembered. When you leave your body automatically, it is said to be the sweetest of all. This is why the example of a snake is given. In the golden age, it is like that. They shed their bodies in happiness. Therefore, this practice is developed here and this practice continues there. Your children remembered the Father with so much love. In English, you would say most beloved, supremely beloved, very sweet. You cannot say that people are supremely beloved or most beloved. The Father says, children, I am your Father, teacher, and also your Guru. If you ever forget the teacher, you can remember the Father. Baba is also the guide. He is the one who liberates you from sorrow and takes you to the land of peace. After that, there is the land of happiness. You are now receiving this grass of knowledge, and you should continue to chew it. Means churn the ocean of knowledge. The mouth of a cow continues to chew the cud. There is no need for your mouth to work on this. However, internally, you have to remember everything. I am the same as you. I have even fewer hours because my intellect's yoga wanders outside. Sometimes I would receive a letter from someone that there is conflict with so and so. There is this and that. So my intellect goes there throughout the day. However, perhaps it is easier for Baba than the children because Baba stays right beside him. When Baba sits down to eat his meals, he thinks, okay, I am going to remember Baba. That remembrance stays for 2 to 3 minutes and then I forget. Remembrance flies away like the wind. Children, try this and see for yourself. Although it is easy, remembrance does take time. Acha, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found spiritual children, love, remembrance, and good night from the depths of the hearts and with the deepest love from the spiritual father and Dada. The spiritual father says, Namaste to the sweetest, long lost, and now found spiritual children. The spiritual children says, Namaste and good morning to the spiritual father. Essence for the dharana. First point, live together with a lot of love for one another. Get together and decide how you can enable the Father's message to reach everyone. Second point, this is the time of destruction. Therefore, have true love for the one Father. Have yoga to purify your soul. Blessing. May you be a true Rajrishi and as well as being a master of yourself. Also, have an attitude of unlimited disinterest. Explanation. On one hand, you have the kingdom, and on the other hand, you are a rishi. That is, one with unlimited disinterest. Such Rajrishis cannot have any attachment for themselves, other people, or for possessions. This is because when you have self-sovereignty, your mind, intellect, and sanskars are under your control. And when you have this interest, you cannot have the slightest thought about the old world. Therefore, to consider yourselves to be a Rajrishi means that, as well as being a king, you also have unlimited disinterest. Slogan. When you are a sensible person, you make the one Father your support for everything before all your other supports break. Om Shanti